Well, ladies and gentlemen, our favorite crew, our favorite alpha male crew, self-proclaimed alpha male crew from the Brooklyn, Miami area, has respawned again. I know I came by a month late in regards to this. It's been busy, but I gotta get some things off my chest. It's after all the crazies that they continue to spew. You just can't help but sip the tea. So let's just dig right into it.
Because I've heard you talk about this before, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to get in on this conversation here. I'm gonna fuck this up in two ways. Okay, I'm gonna go one way and then the other.
Let's do it.
The first is this: is statistically speaking, women will fake orgasms more for alpha men. Because and you would think, oh, like, beta guys like, oh yeah, because beta men get her off, ha ha ha. No, it's not. It's because she sees you as a beta and you're not worth faking an orgasm for. If the guy is alpha enough, she will fake an orgasm. And this is from research, right? Will fake an orgasm for a guy that she sees that she has genuine desire for, because if it's like a spur of the moment thing, it's the same night lay, whatever it is. If he doesn't get her, maybe she's on the rag, right? If he doesn't get her off, and she wants to keep him like locked in so that once she's sort of come back around where she's ovulating again so that she can have sex with him later, she will pretend that she got off and he was a great lover because she's trying to retain. It's a mate retention adaptation. It's like a strategy. So that's number one. Number two is this, and this I looked this up when you had this conversation last time, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot of debate right now as to the what is like the use or the function of female orgasm. So there's two theories about this. The first one is that it's mate retention. If a guy can get a woman off of that oxytocin and everything, that's like a post orgasm, like their system is flushed with oxytocin. I think it's progesterone. I'm not an endocrinologist, so I don't know, but like there is a bonding that goes on if you can get the woman off, and then you're kind of there in the the sex afterglow right afterwards. So that's one. Another one is if you get a woman, if you get her off, then it's supposed to facilitate some kind of like it makes fertility or makes insemination that much better. That's neither here nor there. But the other thing is that it's that mate retention kind of thing, but it's also, some people are saying that maybe it's like a vestige. It's like sort of it's what's known as a spandrel. It's just sort of, it was there. It's not necessary. The thing about orgasm, it's not necessary for a woman to get off to become pregnant, and that's where that comes in.
Yeah.
So what's the secondary function? It's possibly pair bonding. Yeah. At least those are the popular ways of thinking about it. So one is alpha guy, I'll fake orgasm so I can retain this guy, and the other one is like, well, you're getting off to keep that guy, or he has to keep her because it facilitates pair bonding if she's getting off with that guy that she has genuine desire for.
And let me make this very clear, because I think some people misinterpret when I say a woman's ejaculation is irrelevant. What I mean by that is I don't want guys doing the most to please their girl. You know what I'm saying? 3 dildos, finger in the butt, weird hentai porn in the background, opera music playing on the side, weird candles and shit like that. Like, some girls need a lot of stimulation to get off. And that's fine. It is what it is. But this is why I tell y'all, man, a girl that doesn't have a crazy promiscuous past is going to get off a lot easier than a girl that has a crazy past. Now, is that in all cases? No. There's definitely going to be girls that are virgins that still might have a hard time getting off, and a girl that's like a fucking huge slut is going to be able to get off easily. But on a balance of probabilities, a woman that doesn't have a past is going to be able to get off a lot easier than a girl that does have a past. So all I'm saying for the guys out there is you don't have to do all this extra shit in the bedroom to compensate for your lack of performance outside the fucking bedroom. Because a lot of you guys are soft, weak, don't take leadership, don't take direction, aren't decisive, don't tell your girl how to, how things should be done. You're not a dominant man outside. So you got to do all that extra stupid shit when you get in the bedroom because your presence outside the bedroom is mediocre. Mm-hmm. So then you have to overcompensate and do all this stupidity in the bedroom. And that's where a lot of guys find themselves with blood on their fucking face, eating girls out when they're on their period, which I don't want guys doing that shit. Be the man outside the bedroom so that when you come into the bedroom, you don't got to do shit. And she's going to try to validate you guys. And
You'll
again,
notice here's another
that's what
thing.
it is.
Here's another thing is it's also used as sort of a shaming tactic right now. So a guy who's a real man or masculine guy knows where the clitoris is, right?
Don't be a 1 minute guy.
I've been on this planet long enough to know how to give a woman an orgasm. Thank you. It's not all that hard. I can figure it out now, right? But it's not like some magical ability. It's not like I have to be some rocket scientist to figure out how to do that. But that has a man's inability to do that, or women thinking that a guy couldn't do that because he's inexperienced, he's an incel, he's too, he's a virgin or whatever else. That is used, I think, as a sort of a bargaining chip or as a shaming chip. I think it's like, well, you don't know how to give a girl, you don't even know where the clitoris is. It's like, it's not that hard to figure this stuff out with experience. So a guy who has had the experience to do that, who can give you an orgasm, that's another qualifier, by the way. So you've been with a guy who has been around the block, has been with enough women, and knows how to do that. That guy ends up having a higher quality because now he's the one who can get you off.
On to this work.
Yeah, I do have a few questions, but I'm not going to ask all of them. I do want to ask about the orgasm part. I understand your side, right? Mm-hmm. But I can have a man that provide for me. I'm not going to say me. I'm not going to put myself in the picture. Sure. But you can have a man that provides for a woman, and women have sexual needs as well. And so when I understand your part, like, okay, let's have quickies. These quickies are for me, the man, right? But if you really don't give a fuck about the woman's pleasure, right, there's going to be a sexual
I'm saying
disconnect.
It's extra credit.
It is extra credit, but it's still very important in a relationship. I know shit. I tell my man, like, if after a couple of times, I got blue balls, bro. Like, when's my turn? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is important to me too.
What I'm saying is that you could still score 100. The making her orgasm gets you a 105. It's still an A+ no matter what, but it's irrelevant. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, if you really like the girl and you care about the length of the relationship, I feel like having her orgasm as well not only is pleasing for the average man, because you're unique, you don't care about that stuff, but
a lot of guys don't care about it. They just I'm just voicing their opinion.
Cap, men care about that. If they didn't, most women wouldn't have to fake orgasms. I care, but like I said previously, it depends on if I like the girl.
Okay.
I care.
So, yeah. So
Wait, what's it? How do you feel about this? Do you
care about
enjoy making a woman bust, or not? You don't give a shit.
She got to come before I do.
Oh,
I like multiple too. Like if she comes.
That's what I said.
Times, then
bro, that's what I said. Loud.
Myron, just say you come.
It make the experience better.
Yeah, if you smashing your girl and right after she's going to the gym and she can run a marathon, well, you hitting it wrong. And in the words of AMS, you gotta fuck these hoes to sleep.
What was that?
Okay, so it's for the experience.
But what Mom was saying earlier, he said, if a girl really likes you, she won't come. So
yeah, I had a girl dry hump me once and come from dry humping.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. And another telling thing too is that we asked the ladies on the panel yesterday, if a guy gave you great sex, would you still stay with him if he was a bum? And they said no.
Okay, let's flip it. I've hit a few gold diggers in my day, and even when the sex was good, I didn't keep them around because you gotta pay to play. And we all know a true gold digger would never get in a relationship with a broke guy. Instead, she'll just marry that guy with the whack sex and the whack swag, but smash the young college student while you're on deployment, serving your country. She'll tell that college student how her husband never makes her come, and you're the first guy to do it. And since you're the one making her happy, she'll let you drive that S550 Benz, give you money when you ask, and swallow your kids in the bed she sleeps in her husband with. Yeah, I'm going to hell for that.
Like, good sex is not enough to women, man. Like, women aren't like physical. Like, men will tolerate a lot of bullshit to get sex. Women aren't necessarily going to tolerate bullshit to get good sex from a guy. Like, maybe to a degree, but it's never going to compensate to the same level that it would for a man. So why are you going to do all this extra shit when it's not really, like I said, you're stepping over dollars to pick up quarters.
No, it's all important. Looks, money, status, the game, and sex. You want to be the full package.
Like, focus on the most important thing. Being an attractive mate is what I say.
My thing with the orgasm is, like, she got to be ready to nut by the time she pull up.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she got to be ready to nut. Like, just the thought of you.
What Hotep is saying is true. If a woman is feeling you and is comfortable with you, it makes the sex better, and she'll come a lot faster.
My thing is
not an extra.
Be the whole package. Yeah. So if I'm that alpha masculine, do whatever, and I can make my girl come, even better. Because now I'm the whole package. So where's she gonna go? Nowhere else.
That boy is good.
Everyone's different. My methodology is I self-improve to the point where it's like, all right, but you can go ahead and try to replace me, but you're gonna look, you're gonna be stupid, and it is what it is. Like, I look at it like when you self-improve, where it's like you're the best option is like, all right, what am I gonna do here, And then her not knowing where she stands with you, that's gonna turn her on more, and you win in the end. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, man, but I don't do shit for the express pleasure of women, man. It's a waste of time.
Well, we know Myron doesn't do relationships, so he doesn't keep women around long term. Most women that don't have mental issues will not stay in a relationship with a man that treats them like shit, especially if they're attractive and they have options. Or, like I said, if their man is a good guy, but he's lacking in the sex department, well, women cheat just as much as men do. So what do you think is going to happen? She's going to hang out with the mailman.
If you improve yourself, you become, not only do you improve yourself, but now you become attractive. Women love guys that don't give a fuck about them. It's just, it sucks that it's like that. Like,
for you guys that want to be single forever, just remember, men have a wall too. It might be later on in life, but we get older as well. And when you get older, you want to settle down with a woman that likes you for you. You don't want to be 50 and settling with that 25-year-old that's only hanging out with you because you got money, which is why you don't see a ton of old guys at the bar. But I'm going to stop the video right here. I'm not even going to try to monetize it because...
Enough said. Alright, now those clips that you guys listen from YouTube in regards to this episode here, those clips that y'all been listening to, they came from YouTube, mainly from the Fresh Fit podcast. The first clip that you heard, it's basically, it's like the After Hours podcast with Fresh and Fit, involving their guest Rolo Tomasi, basically spewing that only women fake orgasms for alpha males and all that stuff. And, Rolo spewing out all the pseudoscience, even though he immediately says he doesn't know the actual statistics from an endocrinologist or even did his thorough research. He laid out like one quick assumption. And then the second video, shout out to the Confidence Creator. The second clip from the video that's posted on YouTube by the Confidence Creator. Shout out to him by the way posting that. Basically shows a clip. We have Fresh Fit After Hours. With Hotep Jesus being the guest, and they're basically discussing whether or not a woman's orgasm matters. Now, Myron, in his manly self, he basically claims that women's orgasms are definitely irrelevant. While surprisingly, in Fresh's and Hotep Jesus' case, they fully defer and they actually went the actual opposite route, where a woman's orgasms actually do matter. So with that, based on Myron's claim, based on what I'm hearing from Myron, this is going to be like a very short one. Myron's claim is pretty much bullshit. Right? And you can take it from someone like me that actually went through this. I had like a day with a young woman. We basically had sex one time. Unfortunately, I couldn't really fully get it up at the time. And she probably noticed that they got a little bit gassed out. And I ended up getting booted out and then got ghosted within like a week. I can tell you that from personal experience, Women's orgasms really do matter. Because if you don't know how to figure out if God forbid some maybe flaccid or your game probably ain't right, you gotta try and find another way. Actually, try to try and make the moment, keep the momentum rolling, and try and make an orgasm in the heat of the moment and keep that stuff thriving to the point where you put it to sleep. You know what I'm saying? More than likely, she's gonna be trying to go out with you more often, right? Because the sex game really does matter. All angles really do matter when it comes to self-improvement as a man, when it comes to actually dating multiple women, or even a woman, or having a girl around when it comes to those types of things. So I mainly agree with Constance Creator in regards to that. You know, minus being all this stuff, like he got all this experience, but yet his expertise is actually very shallow, and he has like 100 leg count, about like 120 some leg count that he been banging up and clapping cheeks, but the majority of cheeks that he claps are literally like around average, below average women, right? Because the women that are like highly intellectual, very attractive, and highly smart, and highly wise or high class wouldn't deal with a motherfucker like him. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta do a lot better, because, you know, and unfortunately, usually like we a novice in sex and all those things, you hadn't really got that much out and hadn't really had that much play. Unfortunately, you're gonna show your hand, especially when you actually like busting your nut too much and fapping too much. You know what I'm saying? You learn that the hard way. You know, you're gonna get burned very early, but as you go along with dating, as you go along with like all these night counts, you know, you basically have like a bunch of wisdom on how to go about it and how to sexually please women. Like the more you dig and the more that you learn to eat them out, which I hadn't even fully done before, but I love to do. You know what I'm saying? Basically, the more wisdom that you have, like the more understanding you have when it comes to feminine odor, the more understanding that you have, where not like, because I know like the feminine odor naturally when it comes out of human body, it's not gonna be smelling great, but you know, you be able to like quickly tell whether or not like the odor is like sort of okay to like extremely worse off, so bad to the point like, nah, I don't want to hang out with the shit no more. I'm definitely gonna let it be. You know what I'm saying? So that sexual pleasure really, really does matter at the end of the day, and it's all part of that sexual improvement. If you don't have that, you know, as Constance Creator said, you know, you could be single forever. You know, you could get dusted off, more than likely get fucked over by, you know, your chick coming by due to the fact that she's gonna be feeling resentment, and it's gonna be like a path down the hell. You know, I feel for the dudes that are listening to that podcast, because what mine is basically doing, he's trying to transform mainly his views into like literal high value simps. And that's really one big issue that I have with that. You're spewing all this information and getting all these dudes really set up to fail. You know what I'm saying? But sexual pleasure, sexual arousal has to involve both parties and has to benefit both parties when it's all said and done at the end of the day. When it comes to that. And I'm definitely going to leave it at that right there. There's like a lot more things I want to actually get into. There's like another ideal that they're actually explaining themselves as well that I deeply want to get into when it comes to that, especially as men age, when these types of things actually occur. And I want to try and get like a bigger picture together in future episodes to come when it comes to these things. So yes, Constance Creator tells us about the wall, right? Men do have a wall, mainly financial, unless, you know, they deal with like a tragic incident where they deal with paralysis, or they have like some penile problems that actually may cause like the erection to actually be extremely painful. You know, those are some very rare exceptions to the rule. But in many cases with men, it's definitely financial where you actually snap back from. And if, you know, you have like some ED or, you know, flaccid dick, basically meaning most of the time as you age, that means you gotta try and adjust your diet, and you have to adjust your exercise to try and make yourself in the best shape possible, and try and reduce those odds, you try to reduce those chances. You know what I mean? With that being said, you know, be very aware of who y'all listen to, be very careful, do your thorough due diligence, and I'll be hitting up with another Red Pill Ideal challenge soon. I don't know when that's gonna be. Well, it'll definitely be soon when I'll be able to try and discuss some of these things in full detail, episode by episode. With that, Christopher the Bob Chronicle signed out. Deuces. Good night, y'all.